in the Krishnamacharya style on breath awareness. So Saraswati has been a direct disciple of TKV Desikachar, who is the son of the great Krishnamacharya, learning for many years under his direct guidance, teaching with him. And now she has her own institute with a lot of programs happening. Saraswati is also on the board of Yoga Alliance in this institution of accreditation, following yoga teachers, supporting yoga teachers all over the world. And we thank you, Saraswati, for giving us this first class in the Yoga for UT program and allowing the students to learn a bit more about the importance of breath. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Dr. Veronique. Thank you for the opportunity to really work with people all around the world on one of the most fundamental aspects of the teachings of Sri T Krishnamacharya and Desikachar, which is the breath.
So we start the class. Is everybody ready? So we will have Subhashri, who is one of the students of Saraswathi Vasudevan, to demonstrate. We will go for 60-minute practice, 1 hour, and then you can ask questions. Unmute yourself for the people who are joining directly, or you can also use the chat, no problem. I will be moderating the question.
So before we begin, I would like to give you a few basic guidelines about the practice. Some of you are familiar with this tradition. You have been practicing, teaching in this tradition. Some of you may be absolutely new to the whole understanding of how to work with the breath in asana practice. So generally, when we talk about yoga, we generally equate yoga as equal to asana, right? When you say, I do yoga, it means I do asana. And in the tradition of Sri Krishnamacharya and Desikachar, breath is very, very fundamental to our practice. And in this tradition, we believe every human being can benefit from yoga. And it is true. Everybody who has a mind and a body can benefit from yoga. And Krishnamacharya also said, if you can breathe, you can practice yoga. Which means if you have the ability to consciously observe your breath and work with your breath, then you can practice yoga. It doesn't require any other prerequisite. So having said that, we have to remember that every individual is unique and different at many, many levels. Therefore, the practice has to be customized or individualized for the individual, for the person, okay? And children and young adults can be taught in groups. Usually, older adults, we don't teach in groups. And now we are in the online format. I can't see most of you also, right? And I have to give you a practice. So I'm going to give you a very simple practice that most of you can do comfortably. So remember, the postures are chosen very carefully so that you can do it with some basic instruction and observation. Don't force your body. Don't do anything that might cause any form of injury. Pay attention to your breath, because the breath will guide you very safely through the practice. Wherever required, modify the posture. So even if I don't tell you, when you're bending forward or twisting in a standing position, bend your knees so that you are not going to injure your back. And if you have any health condition where certain movements are contraindicated and you know of it, please modify or just observe with your breath, okay? And what I'm going to guide Subhashri through, and therefore all of you, is a series of principles of how to integrate the breath in asana practice so that it prepares you for pranayama, which comes at the end of the practice. Okay, so it's step by step taking you through the principles of how to integrate breath into asana. Now, usually in a classroom with a student, these principles are taught over a period of time. They're not all taught in a 1 hour class. So remember that. Right now, we are only giving you a kind of a taste of what it looks like or how it feels like to work with the breath in a progressive manner. Okay. And make sure your mind is completely here. Okay. Yoga is about the mind, it is not about the body. So try to make sure that the external disturbances are minimized. You're in a place where you will be least disturbed. Keep your mind attentive. Keep your body very relaxed. Pay attention to your breath. Let your breath guide your movement. And above all, enjoy the practice. Don't get caught up with shoulds and musts, and nobody is looking at you or judging you here. Just enjoy the practice, okay? Flow with the breath. And if possible, try and work with the instructions in a way that you are able to direct your attention inward within you. That is yoga, okay? So we're going to start. The first step is learning how to bring your attention to the breath, just breath awareness. So I'm going to ask Subhashri to just place one hand on her lower abdomen, which is below the navel. Okay. Just start observing the breath. So you can just observe your natural breath and see if there is any movement at all that you can feel in your lower abdomen. So in working with the breath through asana practice and in pranayama, we initiate the exhalation from the lower abdomen. We initiate the breathing with exhalation. Okay, so exhalation is the most important part of the breath. And now bring another hand to your chest. Okay, slightly lower. Yeah. Now just start observing your exhalation in the lower abdomen and your inhalation as you feel the expansion in the chest and the upper abdomen. And slowly, as you watch the breath, you will begin to see that the breath is expanding, deepening. Yeah. So allow the exhalation to deepen and allow the inhalation also to deepen. So this is the first step of connecting to the breath before you even start the asana practice. So you know and remind yourself that you have to be guided by the breath. Now take 3 deep breaths with complete focus on the exhalation, relaxing the lower abdomen and the chest, followed by the inhalation, breathing from the chest to the upper abdomen, feeling the extension of the spine. Once you complete the 3 breaths, bring your hands down. The next step is to combine the breath with the movement. So what we're going to do is in the opening movement, we're going to inhale, and in the closing movement, you're going to exhale. So the inhalation enhances the opening movement, helps your spine, your arms, your shoulders, everything to stretch very well. And the exhalation will enhance your closing movement and vice versa. Okay, so I'm going to ask Subhashri to begin with placing the hands on the floor beside her. Okay, and start inhaling and raising the arms from the sides all the way up. You can raise your head and look up. Pause and exhale, lower the arms and lowering the chin down. Repeat this another 4 times. Observe how the opening of the body helps you to inhale better and how the closing, the lowering of the arms helps you to empty yourself better. 3 more times. You're already warming up your upper body with the breath and the movement. One last time. Okay. Now we go to the third step, and I'm going to ask you to stand up on your mat. You may stand with your feet together or slightly apart, whatever is comfortable for you. Stand in the neutral position, what we call samasthiti, with the weight equally distributed between the feet, the arms by the side of the body, chin down, eyes open. And now we're going to continue with the same opening inhalation, closing exhalation, Tadasana. So as you inhale, raise your arms from the sides all the way up. You can place your palms together. Exhale, lowering your arms from the sides, bringing your chin down. If your shoulders are tight, please keep your arms parallel. So repeat another 2 times. And now you will feel the stretch all the way from the ankle to the neck. Now the last 2 times, I want you to pause consciously for 2 seconds after the inhalation and 2 seconds after the exhalation. The same movement, complete the breath and the movement, pause. Exhale, lower the arms all the way down and pause. One more time. Okay, now I'm going to add one more element to the practice, which is drishti, where you place your eyes, where you direct your eyes in the practice. So in standing postures, we do with eyes open. I'm going to ask her to do a twist where she is focusing her eyes on the fingertips. So Subhashri, as you inhale, raise your arms from the sides all the way up and look up. Direct your gaze to one hand. And as you exhale, twist to one side, parallel to the floor and looking at the hand, the fingertip. Follow the hand as you go up on inhale. Pause, shift your gaze to the other hand and exhale, twist to the other side. Follow the gaze. Pause, inhale, come up to the center, look up. Pause, exhale, lower the arms from the sides and bring the chin down slowly. Repeat this 2 more times. Inhale up, pause, exhale, twist. Follow your gaze to the fingertip. Inhale, come back to the center, look up. Shift the gaze to the other hand. Exhale, follow as you twist. Inhale up and exhale down. Repeat. Feel the extension of the spine as you're inhaling and stretching. It's not just that you're looking, your mind is there. Remember to pause. Back to the neutral position. Just take a few breaths. Settle down. Let your breath settle down. Then the next principle is where you allow the breath to lead the movement. Okay, so your movement, the speed of your movement should be within the length of your breath. So you can modulate it according to the length of your breath. What I'm going to ask you to do is you start your inhalation and your movement together. Okay, you're going to start exhaling. After you start exhaling, you're going to start your exhalation movement, only with the exhalation. And for this, you're going to do Trikonasana, which is a standing twist. So take a wide step to the side. Normally, we place the feet parallel, but I'm going to ask you to place it slightly turning outward. So if you need to bend your knees, it won't cause any injury. Arms by the side, exhale completely in this position. Now, as you inhale, raise your arms to the shoulder level, palms facing down. Start exhaling here. And then start twisting, bringing the left hand outside of the right foot. This is a modified version where you fold your arm and open your shoulders looking up. Pause here, bring your head down, then inhale and come up. Pause, exhale, twist to the other side. And turn your head and look up. Pause, bring your head down, inhale and come up. Start exhaling and then start lowering your arms. Okay, can you repeat 2 more times? Start inhaling and raising your arms. Pause, start exhaling and then start moving. Pause. Lower your head, inhale and come up. Pause. Start exhaling and then move to the other side. Twist, turn your head and look up. Pause. Lower the head, inhale, come up. Pause and exhale. Slowly lower your arms. Just do 1 time by yourself. So you can follow your own breath and the movement within the breath, especially your exhalation movement. Remember to relax your body, enjoy your breathing. Once we have done a twist, we have to counter it with a symmetrical forward bend to neutralize any imbalance in the system. So bring your feet together, come to the neutral position, and just stay there for half a minute. Let the breath settle down. Bring your awareness to your posture. And especially observe where your mind is. Is your mind in your body with the breath? And now we're going to do a very simple forward bend. You're going to inhale, raising your arms from the front. Pause. Start exhaling. And then start bending forward, continuing to exhale. You may bend your knees, relax your upper body, drop your head, relax your neck. Pause. Inhale, raise your arms and come up. Pause. Start exhaling and then start lowering your arms. Complete your exhalation after you have lowered the arms. Then pause. Repeat 2 times. So inhale with the movement to follow the breath in the exhalation. Make sure you are bending your knees if you need to. Keep the upper torso very relaxed. The breath is smooth and even. Don't crunch your shoulders. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Your chin down. Okay. We have completed the standing postures. We are moving to lying postures. And before that, just sit down for a minute. Sit on your mat. We bring the awareness back to the breath. Place one hand in your lower abdomen and one hand on your chest. And just observe your breath. Don't regulate, just observe. Let the mind follow the breath in and out. Once your breath completely settles down, bring your hands down. Now we transition to lying postures. So lie down on the mat in supine position on your back. You can stretch your legs. If your lower back is too arched, you may keep your legs bent so the back can relax better. Now we come back to the breath awareness. Bend your knees if you have your legs stretched. Place one hand on your lower abdomen and start working with extending your exhalation. Starting by drawing the lower abdomen in, relaxing your chest with each exhalation. And let your inhalation be very free and passive. Natural inhalation. Exhale from the lower abdomen, but gently drawing the lower abdomen in, allowing the chest to fully relax. So we are now working on the technique of breathing. Exhale slowly by drawing the lower abdomen in, letting the chest to fully relax. Bring the other hand to the upper abdomen. Yes. And now, as you inhale, feel the expansion of the chest and the upper abdomen. And exhale from the lower abdomen, relaxing the chest. Breathe freely and deeply, without any restrictions. Introduce a short pause of 2 seconds between your inhalation and exhalation, and between your exhalation and the following inhalation. So you know that you're transitioning. Follow the breath from the beginning to the end. Complete with this breath and bring your hands down. Now bring your heels closer to your body, okay, as much as possible. You can keep your knees together, but if it's slightly apart, feet apart, knees apart, it might be more comfortable for you. Palms down, chin down. Now we're going to do Dvipada, which is a lying back arch. You're going to raise your hips with your chin down position on inhalation. But here I'm going to introduce one more principle. Okay. You're going to start inhaling, and then after 2-3 seconds, you start raising your arms and raising your hips up. Complete your inhalation, complete your movement, then your inhalation and pause. Start exhaling, then start lowering your arms and your hips. Complete your movement, then your exhalation and pause. So you can do it. Start inhaling, start raising the arms and raising the hips up, chin down, eyes closed. Pause. Start exhaling, and then start lowering the arms and slowly lowering the hips. Come down, fully rest, pause. Repeat. 2 more times. When you pause, you're absolutely still and relaxed. Repeat 1 more time. So this really helps to improve your inhalation, strengthen the lower part of your body, and really relax your neck and your shoulders. So the next movement, you stay with this, but I want you to stay for 1 breath in the posture, in Dvipada. Okay? Start inhaling, then start raising your arms and your hips up. Exhale there completely. Just stay in the posture. Exhale. Inhale. Start exhaling and then start lowering your hips, lowering your arms. Complete the movement, complete the breath and pause. 2 more times. And you stay for 1 breath in the posture. This is both a relaxing and a strengthening posture, and a good preparation for inverted positions. One more time and stay for a breath. Start exhaling and then start lowering your arms, lowering your hips down. And relax. Back to your normal breathing. Now that you have done a back arch, we follow it with a flexion. So take your feet off the ground and hold your knees. We're going to do Apanasana, which is going to work on your lower abdomen and strengthen the Apanavayu. This is your inhalation position. Inhale here. Start exhaling and draw the knees towards the chest, keeping the shoulders relaxed. Pause. Start inhaling, start moving the knees away. Don't bring them to the floor. Don't bring the feet to the floor, just move the knees away. Pause. Exhale, back to Apanasana. And really work on the lower abdomen, gently drawing them in, drawing the lower abdomen in. Relax the chest when you're exhaling. You feel the contraction, the emptying as you exhale, and the expansion on your inhalation. Repeat 3 more times. This posture really helps your back, your entire spine can be relaxed. And it also works on the lower abdomen. Once you complete, slowly bring your feet to the floor. Bring your hands down. Stretch your legs. Relax. Continue to stay with your breath so that your mind is fully anchored in your body. And now turn to one side and get up and sit in the kneeling position, Vajrasana. So we're going to do a sequence in the kneeling position. Some of you have difficulty sitting on your heels. Please modify the posture suitably. You may skip some of these steps, but just stay with what you can do comfortably. Okay. So we're beginning with sitting in Vajrasana, back straight, chin down, and bring your focus to the breath. Inhale, feel the lengthening of the spine, the straightening of your back. And exhale, gently drawing the lower abdomen in, relaxing your chest. And now we're going to start the movement. Exhale completely in this position. Start inhaling and start raising your arms as you stand on your knees. All the way up, chin down, the palms facing forward. Exhale, bend forward, bringing the hands to the floor in front of you. The hands shoulder width apart. You're coming to the forward bend position. From here, inhale, just come on the fours, arch your back and look up. Chakravakasana. Exhale, lower your head, bring your chin down, move your hips back to the heels. Complete your exhalation. Inhale, raise on your knees, raising your arms. Start exhaling and lower your arms back to your heels. Okay, now repeat this 3 times. Each time, deepen your awareness of your breath. Make sure your mind is completely anchored to the body. Observe how you feel in each movement. Enjoy the inhalation, breathing in, filling in, and the exhalation, completely emptying yourself, relaxing all the way from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Inhale, stretching, opening. Exhale, relaxing back to the neutral position. One more round. And see if you can do this with your eyes closed. So your focus is inward. Don't force, don't control, just enjoy the movement with whatever comfort level you have with your breath. Don't try to move at the pace of the demonstrator. This is only for you to understand the movement. Your body is different, your breath is different. Now, 3 more times, and this time you're going to stay one breath in each position. Inhale, stand on your knees, arms raised. Exhale here completely. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Inhale, feel the stretch. Start exhaling and start bending forward. Make sure there's gap between the head and the floor, elbows off the floor. So you're able to inhale here, exhale completely. Next, come to the back arch, arching your spine, looking up. Stay here and exhale completely, drawing the abdomen in against gravity. Inhale here, feel the arching of the upper back. Exhale, lower your head, move the hips to the heels. Stay here for a breath. Slightly raising your body away as you inhale and exhale, go deep into the posture. Inhale, come up on your knees. Stay for one breath here, exhale. Inhale here, stretch from the hips, not from your shoulders. Exhale, lower your arms from the front, sit back on your heels. Stay for a breath here. Repeat 2 more times on your own. Remember to pause after each inhalation and exhalation. Make sure there is enough space for you to inhale in the forward bend position. See if you can do with your eyes closed, directing your gaze inward. Keeping the mind anchored to the body using the breath. One more round. Total attention. Completely the mind with the breath and the body. Relaxed movements. And really enjoy how you feel in your body through the movement. Don't force. Once you complete, you can just lie down for a minute. To rest your spine, relax your knees. Maintain a very relaxed awareness of your breath and how you feel in your body right now. Breathing in and breathing out. Let every cell in your body wake up to the breath and relax with the breath. Slowly turn to one side, bend your legs and sit up. Choose a comfortable seated posture. If some of you want to sit on a chair, that's fine. If you want to sit against the wall, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure your spine is erect and your posture is comfortable. Settle down. We are now getting ready for pranayama. Now that we have worked with the breath in asana, we have a certain understanding of the breath, of the inhalation and the exhalation. Just continue to observe your breathing. Bring one hand to the lower abdomen, the other hand to the upper abdomen. Just start observing and deepening your breath. Inhale, feel the expansion in your upper abdomen from the chest. Exhale, draw the lower abdomen in, relax the chest. Pause after inhalation. Shift your focus to the hand in your lower abdomen. Then start exhaling. Complete your exhalation. Pause. Shift your focus to the hand in the upper abdomen. Start inhaling. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Chin down. You will also feel the lengthening of the spine, the straightening of your upper back when you inhale from the chest to the upper abdomen. Exhale, drawing the lower abdomen in, relaxing the chest, helps you to flatten your lower back and relax it. Bring your hands down. Now we're going to start the pranayama practice. Subhashri will demonstrate two techniques. One requires you to curl the tongue for the Shitali. So if you can roll the tongue like a beak, you can do this technique. Otherwise, you keep your mouth slightly open and you inhale through the teeth with a hissing sound. It's called Sitkari. And in both these techniques in pranayama, you will have to inhale raising your head up. Okay, so we're going to start with demonstrating Shitali. You can watch and do it. Roll the tongue, place the tongue slightly out. Inhale through the gap that you have created with your tongue. Close your mouth, fold your tongue back against the upper palate. Bring your chin down and then start exhaling. Relaxing the lower abdomen and the chest. Pause after exhalation. Again, inhale through the tongue. So only the inhalation is through the mouth. Then you fold the tongue back against upper palate. Bring your chin down and then exhale, focusing on the throat. Relaxing the abdomen, relaxing the chest. We'll do the other technique. Sitkari, placing, so you inhale through the mouth. Again, fold the tongue back against upper palate. Bring your chin down. Exhale through the nostrils, focusing on your throat. Exhale fully and completely. Inhale through the mouth. Now you can choose whichever technique you want to do. Subhashri will do 6 breaths of each. Now use your breath. Close your eyes and do it. Hold your tongue back, bring your chin down and exhale fully and completely. Pause after exhalation for a few seconds. Roll the tongue, inhale. So your mind is at the tip of your tongue on inhalation. And your mind is in your throat on exhalation. Make sure your exhalation is slightly longer than your inhalation. Don't try to inhale too much. It might compromise with your exhalation, agitate your mind. So exhale is more important and has to be longer than your inhalation. Shitali is a very calming and cooling technique, which is good for summer. Most of us here are in the peak of summer. Folding the tongue back helps to replenish, activate your salivary glands, and keep the mouth and throat moist. Your back is straight, you're not folding forward, you're not bending forward, okay? Only the head movement. As you raise your head with your spine, straighten your spine, and as you lower your head, don't slouch your back. So if you would like to try the other technique, you can try that. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaws, the throat. Make sure you're not tightening any part of your body. complete with this breath. Drop the regulation. Continue to observe your breath in a very relaxed manner, following the natural rhythm of your breath, keeping the mind and your body very quiet, very still. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just be with your breath. Allow the breath to become very, very quiet, very, very subtle. You observe and listen to each breath from the beginning to the end. When you're inhaling, you're aware of your inhalation. When you're exhaling, you're fully aware of your exhalation. As you stay with your breath, become aware of the universal breath, the vital energy that connects all the living beings on this planet. That everything is breathing like you and me. And as you receive and offer your breath, offer the benefits of this practice to the entire universe. Let it reach all living beings. Let it bring harmony, good health, and vitality. I'm going to complete with the chant. Shante, shante, shanti. Sit quietly for a minute. With your eyes closed. Observe your body, observe your breath. And become aware of your state of mind. And slowly, whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you for this beautiful class. We will give just a few moments for practitioners maybe to come close to their screen, and now is the time for question and answers. So you can use the chat. You can also unmute to ask your question. Raise your hand and we will unmute. And we would like to especially, take questions that are related to the topic of today's class, breath. They have a few questions that have come that are very general. If you could, just narrow your questions to the topic of breath, your experience, and benefit from Saraswati's experience, how you felt to
Dr. Veronique, I would like to just give a little bit of introduction to the practice of how we combine the breath with the movement in asana. Right? We all understand that asana is one aspect of yoga, one limb of yoga. But when does it actually qualify as yoga? If you're able to bring together the body, mind, and the breath in a way that there is harmony. And the harmony that you bring into your body and your mind. So the body is gross, the mind is subtle. You yoke them together. Yoga is called yuj. Yuj means to yoke, to bring together, to link. So what you do is you link the body that is gross to the mind that is subtle using the breath, which is both gross and subtle. So you can feel the breath, you can measure the breath. Yeah, there's a certain gross aspect to it, but the breath is also very, very subtle. So that way you link the grossest aspect of yourself to the subtlest aspect of yourself, which is pure awareness. And every breath is an expression of your vitality, your prana. So through the breath, you're connecting to your vital energy. And through the breath, you're cleansing your whole system. You're purifying your nadis through which the prana can flow. And the most important thing is the breath has the ability to calm your mind, settle your mind down. Because you would have noticed that if the mind is fully distracted, getting confused, agitated, getting pulled away in different directions, anything that you do with the body cannot be called yoga, right? Because the mind is everywhere. So how do you steady your mind? How do you calm it down? How do you let all the mud settle down so the water can be clear? And then this mind can reflect reality closer to what it is. And this mind can understand and act based on that clarity. And that will help us to reduce our suffering. This is the whole idea of yoga. So you begin with your asana practice, really learning to anchor your mind to the body using the breath as a tool.
So which was the first question we had, what's the difference between yoga and physical exercise? And I think if people have practiced, you must have felt something different. And with your explanation, Saraswati, you already gave some hint about this.
Yeah, a lot of people say I go to the gym 3 days a week. So I do my yoga practice 4 days a week. But you cannot compare that with this. Okay. Though asana practice gives you a lot of the physical benefits that any other form of physical training can also give you, it works in a very different way because we all know that yoga is primarily for the mind. Yoga is defined as chitta vritti nirodha, which is really to qualitatively work on the mind. Shift the mind from a distracted, agitated, or a dull mood to one of attentiveness. A mind that can be steady and the mind that can be clear. Okay, so if we want to bring a qualitative shift to the mind, then asana is a very important aspect of it. Without involving the mind, you cannot call it yoga. So therefore, you cannot substitute some other form of physical culture as yoga or yoga for that. They work very differently. And remember that this harmony between the body, breath, and mind is so vital. If you're moving your body very fast, if you're sweating it out, you're your pulse is increasing, your breath rate is increasing. That's not yoga, because it distracts the mind, it disturbs the mind. It increases the sympathetic activation, and that's not yoga, right? So our teacher used to say, from the beginning of your practice to the end of your practice, your breath rate should reduce, your pulse rate should come down, or at least be the same, should not increase, through the practice and at the end of the practice. That's why using the breath in a very careful way really helps. So there is a balancing of the autonomic nervous system. You're not activating the mind and agitating it, because that's not in the direction of yoga.
Yes, the complete system of yoga, from the body to the mind to the advanced spiritual practices. We have
the other thing is, your body is here. Yeah, you all know, wherever you are, your body is there. Okay. Where is your mind? Your mind can be anywhere. Right now, there can be tracks of your mind going all over the place. Right? You may be thinking of your lunch or your dinner or something else, some other planning may be going on. Or your mind may even be measuring, receiving what you're listening to from existing knowledge, existing understanding, existing practice. So your mind is definitely not fully present most of the time. But your breath can only be in this moment. You cannot be with your last breath or your next breath. So when you anchor yourself to the breath, your mind is fully anchored to the present moment, fully. Yeah. So you're training your mind to be fully there. So the monkey mind will slowly get tamed and become quiet and steady. Yeah.
Very nice, clear explanation. We're going to take a question. Chani, if you would like to unmute yourself and ask your question directly.
Thank you very much, Administrator. Yes, I know that this yoga has been able to heal a lot of the ailment, sickness, diabetes, varicose veins. But I've only heard one person who told me that it can also reduces the prostrate of the man. But so far, I have not seen any official yoga that says that it can also shrink the prostrate. So is there a specific practice that can shrink the prostrate of a man? It's a very common problem among the men.
Yeah, I understand that. We will have to look at a more therapeutic practice. And I cannot tell you definitely that this technique will do that, bring that effect. Okay, we will have to work with the individual. In this tradition, we don't work on the condition, we work with the individual. So when your breathing is good, when we even, like, to give you an idea, maybe have some mild inverted positions for your body, so that you can reduce the pressure on the lower part of the body and work with the breath more effectively. It can improve your circulation. It can reduce the swelling or the inflammation of the prostate. It is possible, and I have seen people actually seeing a lot of benefit through the practice. But I do not want to create a cause-effect relationship and say you do this so you will get that, because each individual is different and we have to work with each individual.
Thank you.
There are people joining us from different countries. It's a different time everywhere. So we will really try to stick to the topic of today, because yoga is a huge science, field of techniques also. So a question on breath. There are a few that have come on the chat also. Please use the chat. So directly related to what you are asking, we should not practice yoga asana as a physical exercise is the question.
Okay. So I would like to clarify that. In this tradition of Krishnamacharya and Desikachar that I am trained and I teach, we teach yoga very differently for different people, different needs, different age groups. For children, we call it Srishti Krama. We teach very active, dynamic practice, asana based, okay, with active movement, and they learn through stories, they learn through many ways to inhabit the body and enjoy the practice and bring that discipline. Young adults, we teach what we call Shakti Krama. This is to really build your strength, your resilience, your flexibility. And Shakti Krama is strong physical practice, where you learn to do all kinds of postures and also learn to be steady in the posture, stay in the posture with good breathing. And this can then be upgraded to what we call as Shikshana Krama, which is even more intense practice with a lot of focus on asana and pranayama and bandhas, very intense practice. By and large, a lot of people fall into the next category, which is called the Rakshana Krama. The Rakshana Krama is to protect what you already have and not to cause injury. So a lot of people come into yoga practice very late in our life. Yeah, we haven't gone through those stages. And so when we come, we already have a certain constitution, we have certain limitations, we may also have certain health issues. So we may have to cater or modify the practice according to your capacity. If you have a lot of therapeutic needs, then we call it Chikitsa Krama, which is a therapeutic focus. And all of these are actively breath-based practices, except the first one that we teach young children, because we can't teach them breathing. We use movement and sound to help them to connect with the breath. So to answer your question simply, there is a strong element of physical practice, but it's according to the individual, according to their capacity and need.
Thank you. There's another question in the chat. Should we include more pranayama practice instead of asana practice in our teaching class, especially for people who are suffering from stress? So yoga teacher asking the question.
See, it depends on your mind. If the mind is very distracted, it's not possible to sit and do the breathing because the breath is more subtle. It's easier for you to work with asana. So you need to really work with a good balance of asana and prepare for pranayama. Start with short practices and slowly extend the pranayama practice. You may start with 12 breaths and slowly make it 24, 40, like that. And I also want to stress that the time of the day you practice, what practice you do will vary. In the morning, you do an active practice to prepare for the day. So you really work with the body and the breath very actively. The evening is to really unwind the body and the mind and relax and let go of the fatigue, let go of the residues from the day. Yeah, so you have to unwind and really prepare to sleep well so you can wake up fresh. So morning and evening practice is important, but the breath here plays a very vital role because it helps to cleanse your system of the residues that you gather through stress. The conversations we have, the work we do, how we tighten up the body, the wrong food that we eat, all these effects have to be released and cleansed using the breath and appropriate movement.
I hope this answers your question. And Dr. Salil, would you like to switch on your camera and unmute and ask your question directly?
Yeah, thank you. I think there is a little issue with my camera.
No problem, we can hear you well.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
First of all, Dr. Veronique, Ma'am Saraswati and Subhasri, wonderful. Somehow I have been hooked on to this yoga for daily life while in Delhi. Maybe you are aware of the Gandhi Bhavan. They have this Shankh Prakshalan and all this during those days. I have been, this sort of become a part of my existence. A very straight question. I'm fighting to stay away and to improve my insulin release. So there is a spinal twist, if I remember, that can have, I would really like to hear something, either a breathing exercise or one or two poses that can enhance the release of insulin. Thank you.
I don't want to disappoint you, but I want to tell you that any kind of therapeutic intervention is individual based. So there may be many factors that are causing the increase in the resistance to insulin, right? Because I'm sure you're looking at your diet, you're looking at your stress levels and how you're handling them. You're looking at your sleep. So all these factors are something that you have to take into account. I cannot say that by doing a twist, you can control your blood sugar levels, or by doing a particular technique of pranayama, you can do that. If that is possible, then all that we need to do is write books and people can just follow manuals. Every individual is different, and how the disease manifests in every individual is different. So we have to do a thorough assessment of you to understand the cause for the problem and address it at other levels as well. But so that I don't disappoint you completely, I want to say that a twisting movement, what we call a parivritti, actually helps to activate your digestive fire. And your pancreas is also close to the stomach. Okay. The twisting movement activates your digestive fire, so it helps to improve your metabolism. It helps you to digest your food well and remove the impurities from the system. And in that sense, it can help to regulate the insulin metabolism. Okay. Having said that, there are so many factors that you have to take into account, and everybody with diabetes just don't go into a twist, because it doesn't work.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And,
I very much appreciate this, and I have been more or less successful in keeping it at bay for the last 20 years. I am respecting what you are saying. Just was curious that you mentioned about the breathing, the few poses, because I really cannot do it too much based on my work schedule, but I'm very much keen. So that triggered of this question, but thank you very much.
Sir, work with a teacher who can give you an individualized practice. Now you don't have to go to a teacher's place. You can learn online. You have so many facilities. Find a qualified teacher who can work with you and give you the right kind of preparation and practice that will help you to handle the problem. Okay, this is highly recommended.
Thank you very much. This is, I'm greatly honored to be somehow quite surprised to be included as a panelist or something. So, but this is great. So maybe you can share, may I ask where Dr. Veronica is based?
So I'm French, but actually based in Chennai, and we are all joining from Chennai today from YogaVahini studio. We will also give all the details of, how there was a question, how can we learn this practice more? So yes, wonderful. Of course, you can, get in touch with YogaVahini studio at Saraswati directly if you want to learn more. I will ask Avinash if you can ask your question directly. You must be here. If you can unmute and switch.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much, sister, for giving me a chance to ask my question. Actually, my question was that if we are practicing yoga, means practicing asana on daily basis, then will it fulfill the needs of breathing, doing the proper breathing during sleep also, or we should practice it for another time also? Means if we want to, my main question is that if we want to increase our breath, or we want to just improve my breath during sleep or the whole day for working hours, then does it require some special practicing of this breathing?
I think you got the question, Saraswati. So is the asana practice enough, or should we practice in between too? Thank you, Avinash, for the question.
Yeah, I think a good put 30 minutes to a 1 hour practice, how much time you have with the breath.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, can I just finish?
मैम भाई मुझे ये पूछना है कि जब हम ब्रीथिंग एक्सरसाइज कर रहे थे तो उसमें ब्रेथ एंड टंग में क्या कनेक्शन था और कैसे करना है वो क्लियर नहीं हुआ.
Neelam, can I just finish answering that question and come back to you?
Yeah. Sorry, ma'am.
So, coming back to Avanish's question, when you work with the breath very actively in your practice, and I definitely don't think 30 minutes or 45 minutes practice once a day is going to help you to deepen the awareness of the breath so much. Periodically bringing your awareness back to your breath. Sometimes you can use a mobile app, a mindful bell that can remind you to come back to your breath. Or do a pranayama practice separately in the evening, like a 40 minutes or a 40 breaths pranayama, not 40 minutes. Yeah. So that will really help you to connect with your breath more actively. And then over a period of time, you will begin to see that any situation you can come back to the breath and work with it. But it is more practice, more it will become a habit. Okay. Sorry, Neelam. Yeah, can you come back to your question?
जब हम ब्रीथिंग एक्सरसाइज कर रहे थे तो आपने टंग का भी बोला कुछ तो वो क्लियर नहीं हुआ कि ब्रीथ एंड टंग में क्या कनेक्शन है और कैसे करना है.
Can I speak in English? I can understand what you are.
Yeah. I understand.
So this is a technique where you're inhaling through the mouth. Okay, so you roll the tongue and you inhale like this, like a beak. Like a beak,
Okay.
yeah. And you inhale through that gap. So as the air passes through the tongue, it moistens, it will refresh your throat all the way down. So it's a very calming, cooling technique. Okay, it's called Shitali.
Okay.
And it is one of the pranayama techniques, one of the simpler techniques that even children can learn and do. It's very interesting also. Yeah. It has a very refreshing effect and a calming effect on the system. Yes. In summer especially, it's a very good technique. That's why we talk that. So you can inhale through the mouth, which we do through Shitali or Sitkari. Inhale through the nostrils, that we do nostril control breathing, or throat, where you're still breathing through the nostril, but the control is at the throat, which is the Ujjayi. So these are different pranayama techniques.
Thank you so much. Unique.
We have another question that I think relates to the end of your session today, Saraswati, which is, I believe that if I'm breathing well, this will influence the surroundings beneficially. They may pick up on it. Jyoti Irma has asked this question. I think it's a very nice question that I'm sure you would like to answer.
Yeah. So every exchange in our life is like an exchange of our prana, our vital energy, right? So when our breath is very quiet and in harmony, we can actually help to create that harmony around us. The idea is very simple and logical. When your mind is calm and relaxed, your perception is better. Your actions are more appropriate. We will tend to create less problems for ourselves and other people. That's it. And all depends on the breath.
Very nice. I hope you got your answer. If you want to unmute and switch on your camera. Okay. So there is one more very practical question, Saraswati. Is abdominal breathing more beneficial than using our chest for breathing?
Okay. So I introduced the technique of breathing in the practice. Usually, like I mentioned in the beginning, we would introduce these principles over a period of time. Okay. Abdominal breathing has a very relaxing effect on the system. It actually relaxes your mind and your body. chest breathing, particularly the way we teach moving from the chest to the upper abdomen. If somebody is basically anxious, it can trigger anxiety. So if you have the student in front of you and you know that they may have a tendency for anxiety, we don't introduce chest breathing initially. We have to teach and we have to observe whether they are doing it correctly so that it doesn't create any negative effect. But abdominal breathing actually helps to relax well. Somebody is already very lethargic and relaxed. You don't want to make them more lethargic. Then you have to give them a more active breathing practice. Yeah, so again, this we teach according to the individual.
May I ask John Smith to unmute and ask his question?
Yeah, thank you, Dolly. Thank you, Saraswati. It was a lovely little session.
Thank you.
I've done the Shitali breath in the past before. It's the first time I've been instructed to have the movement of, lifting the head up and then bringing the head down. So is there a particular reason for the movement of the head or that breathing technique, that it does something different to just if we weren't using that technique of the movement of the head coming up and down or the throat?
So what I learned from our teacher is that when you move your head up, you actually relax the neck better because you're doing, so you may tend to tighten up this area if you're doing it for a long time. And also the jihva bandha, folding the tongue back, can really create some tension here. So the neck movement helps you to consciously relax this area. So in this tradition, we teach Shitali and Sitkari with neck movement. The inhalation. Exhalation is done with the chin lock. But it's not there in the classical text. And
Yeah, that was good. And I actually quite enjoyed it. And the result was that after I finished that little practice, I felt very meditative. I felt like when we went into that quiet space, I thought, oh my God, I'm feeling like I'm really getting absorbed into a nice absorption inner state. That inner gaze was really developing quite nicely. So thank you for that technique. It seemed to make me go into a deeper state of awareness inside. So nice.
Wonderful. It's not the technique, it is your experience and how you did it.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Saraswati. Dipti Mehta, would you like to unmute and switch on your camera to ask
Yes, I just wanted to clarify that in Chitkari, exactly when we have to exhale, after coming down or exactly when?
Okay. So the classical way in which we do it, ideally, is you come down, establish the Jalandhara Bandha, the chin lock, and then exhale. So your breath can be really long. But a modification of that is you can also exhale as you come down if you have any tightness or problems around the neck. Yeah.
So inhale
can,
when we twist our tongue, at that time we start inhale. Then we go up, I mean the head go up. Then we stay there for some time, lock our neck. No?
Yeah, let me just demonstrate and explain to you.
Yes, sure.
This is one way. So I'm inhaling through the mouth.
Yes.
You can see that I fold the tongue back.
Yes.
Close my mouth.
Yes.
Bring my chin down.
Yeah.
Maintain the chin lock and exhale. So that's how we do ideally. Okay. But I can also do it this way. So you see that I'm exhaling as I'm coming down.
Coming down, yes.
If you particularly have some tension or tightness around your neck, this may be a better technique than holding the breath after inhalation and lowering your chin down.
Okay, fine. Got it. Yeah.
On your comfort, you can choose both.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Maybe one last question for today's class. So Johnson has asked one question: how can we balance Ida and Pingala by breathing? Big chapter.
I wish I knew, because this whole science of the subtle anatomy and looking at the nadis, the Ida and the Pingala. Ida is the left nadi that culminates at the left nostril. Pingala is that which culminates at the right nostril. In somewhere, the balancing of these two is supposed to balance also our autonomic nervous system, because one has a more relaxing effect, one has a more activating effect. So a lot of research being done on this. I can only tell you that the right kind of practice and progression can help the balancing, but I don't have enough experience to tell you this is how it is done.
Thank you, Saraswati. We will close our webinar here, and maybe with a remark of yours. But before you have I will let you give the last word. Remember that if you want to be in touch directly with Saraswati, you will find the link to her institute in Hyderabad and in Chennai, 2 institutions with many teachers actually all over India. And Saraswati also teaches online, so we have a lot of overseas coming to follow and learn the Krishnamacharya style from a beginner, or if you're already a yoga practitioner, please be in touch with her directly. And if you have any trouble finding where, write to us at hello@yogaforunity.com. Saraswati, the last word is yours.
I want each one of us to remember that something very, very precious is there with us all the time, from the time we are born to the time we're going to die. That's our breath, right? You don't have to go anywhere outside to seek that connection. You just have to, in this moment, you can connect to your breath. So your breath is your best friend. It can become your best friend. And you can really use your breath to calm your mind, to cleanse your system, and to really achieve anything that you want to achieve through the mind. Because the breath is really something that has all this power. So pranayama is a way of befriending your breath, developing and nourishing that connection with the breath, so that that will support you throughout your life. Okay, and with that, I want to stop.
So much. I have also put the link to, because you will see there are more classes where you can experience. We had some questions on my knee not working, can I do yoga? You will find teachers from YogaVahini teaching also senior classes on the website. Please enroll. It's a free program. It's to bring awareness, to everybody about the benefits of yoga. And you will find more interviews, podcasts, lessons, short videos for yoga teachers also from Saraswati and her teachers. Thank you very much. We also want to thank Subhashri for being our beautiful demonstrator today, and all the people who are behind this program. Thank you all for being with us. We hope to see you next week. We will explore different kinds of yoga. Namaste. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.